Back in 2021, the Detroit Lions had an offensive coordinator that lasted for 7 games. You remember his name? Anthony Lynn. Anthony Lynn was the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, and he was demoted about halfway through the season. And there's a guy that kind of crept up. The former tight ends coach came out of nowhere. Name is Ben Johnson. Took the league by storm, and essentially from 2022, 2023, he has been on the top of the list when it comes to head coaching candidates around the NFL. All right. Now, he's been tied to the Carolina Panthers. There was a time that we thought, this was going into this season, that he really might take that job. But then he came out and said that basically he ain't leaving a Gucci situation for one unless it's Gucci-er, right? So he's not going to leave this situation unless it's perfect. He's not going to put himself, and I knew he wasn't the owner for the Carolina Panthers. Weird dude. It ain't nothing wrong being weird, but you know, he's a guy that you gotta be careful with, right? So we and look at the disaster that was avoided by Ben Johnson by keeping his butt home. So just stay where you at. He can be like the Eric Bieniemy when he was with the Chiefs. Just go ahead, pile up them Super Bowls. Sometimes the grass is not always greener. And even this offseason, he has been tied to multiple head coaching jobs going into this season. And it's going to be a few more. Every year there's a few more, some expected, some unexpected. The Patriots decided after 20 years to move on from Bill Belichick. They said it was mutual. This year, there's a couple guys that are on, their seats are on fire. I'm talking about just blaze, right? It is burning up. One of those guys, in my opinion, is Nick Sirianni, and the other one is Kyle Shanahan. Now, what prompted this video is this picture right here. Now, I told this individual I was going to use this picture. You see it on the thumbnail. And this is only one of the places that fans are kind of clamoring for, or some fans are clamoring for Ben Johnson to be the head coach of their team. This is coming from Eagles Eric. Shout out to Eagles Eric. Says NFL teams can win with a CEO head coach, Harbaugh Campbell. The problem is Sirianni is not good enough at the non-X's and O's stuff to be worth having as a head coach. My choice for the 2025 Eagles head coach, Ben Johnson, in the Philadelphia mock-up. And I, responded. I saw it, knew I had to talk about it. I responded. I let him know that, one, I was going to be using his tweet, and two, he could not have him. So that's Nick Sirianni is one of the guys that's on the hot seat. It's funny how you can go, like, we really, really have a good thing, because you can go from the new hotness to on the outskirts in no time flat. So here, that's one team that I think if they don't make the Super Bowl, I think he's gone. I don't think there's any level of, there's nothing less than, because remember, they made it, they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. And how far, that was just a few years ago. Look how far they've fallen off. It hurts a buzz. Like, is he really the real deal? He can't do this, he can't do that. And if you talk to Eagles fans and watch some Eagles content, because I watch everything, he's losing the locker room. You got Slay, you got CJ Gardner-Johnson, you got guys over there, right? Now they got Saquon Barkley, but if a coach loses the locker room, he's in trouble. He's in trouble. That's at that point. We're watching it happen with Antonio Pierce right now. It's one thing Dan Campbell will never, ever do. He will never lose the locker room. That's why a guy like Max Crosby vocally said, I would play for the Detroit Lions. Trust me. That's Dan Campbell. That's why there's a Detroit hangover, which has become a thing. All 4 teams that have played the Detroit Lions up until week 5 have lost the week after they've played us. All right. And the only team that beat us was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, there's another team, too, that this team is in shambles. They lost yesterday. All right. Their kicker got hurt, and their fan base, it is glorious. Mwah. Chef's kiss to watch this fan base fall apart. Most irritating fan bases, I got to say, 49ers, Ravens. I mean, it's neck and neck. Probably you can sprinkle the Cowboys in there. They're probably all 3 tied. But the San Francisco 49ers, okay, I know Grant Cohen is not the guy anybody wants to talk about. He's kind of, I think if I was, and I know, don't take this how I think you're going to take it. If I was in the media, I think I would be like Grant Cohen. Like, I would just have no filter. He's a guy that has a media pass that gets to ask or has the tough questions. Now, no matter what you think about him and his style of reporting, I was watching the show because it's great to relish in the 49ers misery, right? Couldn't stand them before the NFC title game, and their fan base made it worse. Now I despise them. Cowboys, 49ers fans, Baltimore Raven fans. Like, they're even above the Packers to me. I haven't been disrespected by any Packer fans, right? Saw on a video today that he believes that if there is not a Super Bowl win, both Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch will be fired. That the family of the 49ers owners have had enough. He's had 8 years. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He got twice as long as Jim Harbaugh, according to them. And this a guy, you're paying too much money. Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. Brock Purdy is on the menu too, right? That if they don't win a Super Bowl, he's going to be fired. And a name that he mentioned that he wouldn't mind if he saw as the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers was none other than Ben Johnson. So Ben Johnson, there are multiple teams, fan bases, who relish what we have, and they want this guy to come to their team. And this is with the slow start that the Lions offense has had. Again, Ben Johnson has made it very clear. This was the first time he really came out. Remember was it last offseason? Yes, it was last offseason. Time is moving so quick, I forgot. That was this year where he made his decision on the plane not to take the Washington Commander job. Looks like they got a pretty good situation over there, but I'm glad that he decided to stay right where he needs to be. But he already said he's not going to a place that isn't perfect because the Lions, he was here from the beginning of this reboot. He's been here. He knows what's brewing. He wants to be here until we win a Super Bowl. But other fan bases, now we've heard about like the media talking about it, but this is the first time I've heard fans outwardly say Ben Johnson, that's 2 fan bases that I've heard say we would like to see Ben Johnson as our as our head coach. I'm thinking about it. We talk about coaching trees. Bill Belichick, Sean Payton, like Dan Campbell is starting a coaching tree. We could see any number of coordinators leave to take head coaching jobs. Crazy. So leave your thoughts in the comments below. Lions win the Super Bowl this year. Let's have some fun. Lions win the Super Bowl this year. Do you think Ben Johnson leaves? And any team in the National Football League, any other 31 teams, which one do you think he could take a job at? Because remember, the situation got to be perfect. So what do you think would be a situation? The 49ers, not according to Ben Johnson, that mug is turning toxic over there. He going to be Brock Purdy. He would have to deal with that. So I don't foresee him going to any of these organizations, even if we win a Super Bowl. But let me know, who could you see Ben Johnson? And has any fan base reached out to, or you've seen any comments of any other fan base that verbally or openly said, we want Ben Johnson as our next head coach? But I thought this was something that I've been wanting to talk about this for a few days. So shout out to Eagles Eric, man. You know, no hate here. But I thought it was funny that Dan Campbell, we ain't even halfway through the season, and we got fan bases scouting our coordinator. That's crazy to me, man. I never thought we would be, as Lions fans, in that position, right? So anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Remember, this channel is brought to you by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. You guys could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.